I once woke up 4 times in a single night, and every single time I was wrong. The first time, I opened my eyes, saw my nightstand, and hit the snooze button on my phone. Nothing strange, just another morning. The second time, I actually got out of bed. I felt the cold floor under my feet, walked across the room, reached the door. The third time, I was standing in the bathroom. I squeezed the toothpaste, I drank a glass of cold water, and I could feel every tiny detail. The taste in my mouth, the temperature of the water sliding down my throat. Then, I opened my eyes again. I was still in bed. By the 4th loop, I froze. I didn't move. I didn't check my phone. I just lay there. Because I had absolutely no idea which version was real. My brain had just built 4 copies of my normal life, and every single one of them was convincing enough to fool me. Then something occurred to me. Right now, you're watching this video, you're listening to my voice, and maybe that feels obvious, maybe it feels real. But what exactly makes you so sure this isn't just your 5th loop? Most of us dismiss dreams pretty easily. We tell ourselves dreams are blurry, reality is solid, simple. But once you start paying attention to the tiny glitches inside your own head, that confidence falls apart surprisingly fast. Glitch number 1, the perfect simulation. False awakenings reveal something deeply unsettling. Your sleeping brain can do far more than create vague hallucinations. It can build a perfect copy of your life out of nothing. Think about that for a second. Your brain recreated your bedroom, the exact position of the furniture, the weight of the blanket on your chest, even the feeling of getting out of bed. And it did all of that, while the real room wasn't even in front of you. Glitch number 2, fake personal history. Have you ever remembered a conversation so clearly that you could have sworn it happened? I have. I remembered a specific sentence a friend supposedly said. I could hear the tone of his voice. I could picture the lighting in the room. I could practically replay the scene. So later, I asked him about it. He looked completely confused. He said it never happened. My brain didn't just forget something. It wrote a script, rendered the audio, rendered the visuals, and quietly inserted it into my actual life history. Glitch number 3. The body believes the dream. In a nightmare, you feel pure terror, and when you wake up, the sweat is real, the tears are real, the heartbeat is real. I've woken up and still felt my heart hammering against my chest. The monster wasn't real. The danger wasn't real. The fall wasn't real. But somehow, the fear was. Your body is reacting to a world that never physically existed. And that's what makes all of this so unsettling. Your brain isn't a camera. It isn't recording reality. It's generating it, moment by moment, prediction by prediction, simulation by simulation. Now, before we sound completely crazy, let's look at what mainstream science has to say, because neuroscience actually has a pretty good explanation for all of this. The human brain is locked inside a dark, silent skull. It never sees the outside world directly. All it ever receives are electrical signals. And to save energy, it doesn't record reality frame by frame. Many neuroscientists describe the brain less like a camera and more like a prediction machine. It guesses, it takes a few signals, fills in the blanks, and reconstructs reality. So those glitches, false awakenings, fake memories, they're not cracks in the matrix, they're prediction errors. Reality isn't fake, but before you ever get to experience it, your brain has already done an enormous amount of processing, more than most of us ever realize. This scientific explanation is perfect. On a mechanical level, it completely makes sense. But even after that explanation, one blank space remains. Science can map exactly how electrical sparks travel through the wiring of your head, but it still cannot fully explain why biological tissue and electrical activity turn into the private feeling of terror inside you. It knows how the eye processes light, but it doesn't know how that light creates the feeling of being you. Science can describe the process, but it still struggles to explain why there is someone experiencing the process from the inside. If we can't even prove how the observer is created, how can we arrogantly claim we know where the boundary of reality actually is? To be honest, I still think about that night sometimes, the night of the 4 false awakenings. Even after I finally woke up for real, for a solid 10 minutes, I wasn't entirely sure for the rest of that morning. I kept checking small things: the door, the sink, my phone, just to make sure. They stayed the same. I was terrified to touch the doorknob, just in case the texture felt wrong. I stared at the water in my glass, waiting to see if the physics would break. Maybe that is the closest I've ever come to understanding something fundamental. Our sense of certainty is terrifyingly fragile. We walk around every single day completely convinced that our eyes are wide open, but are they? And maybe that's the strangest part. Even if I can't prove this is the final layer, I still have to live inside it. The alarm still rings, the laundry still waits, the coffee still gets cold. So whatever this is, it is real enough to deal with. If this video made you question your surroundings for even a second, hit that like button and subscribe. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had a moment where reality just felt wrong? A glitch you couldn't explain? I read every single one. Anyway, I hope tonight goes better than mine did.